yo. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Good, quick question. I'm gonna throw it in the chat. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? It's your boy, Mr. Provoked Thoughts, and we are in the building. Let me know if you can hear me. Come on in, everybody. It is good to be live. It is cool to be live, hanging out with y'all. Can y'all hear me? Mic check 1 2. Can y'all hear me? I guess I got a lot to say tonight. You got a lot to say tonight. Can y'all hear me? Got a lot to say tonight. All right, that's what's up. That's what's up, y'all. So, welcome to Provoked Thoughts, man. This is your boy, Mr. Provoked Thoughts. Make sure that you hit the like, share, subscribe, notification bell so that when I go live, you know when I go live. Period. If it is your first time coming in, I want to welcome you to some critical conversation, critical things that we talk about, real talk on all subjects, straight lace, no chase, no feelings, no emotions, no nothing. We gonna make sure that you understand exactly what the heck is going on. So, today, we received a verdict for Diddy. That verdict was pretty decent to him on my behalf. He literally beat 3 charges and got charged with pretty much the Mann Act, which to me is kind of ridiculous because I'm like, dude, basically what you're saying is that he trafficked this chick and got money for people having sex with her, man. And Jane Doe, of course, so. So we in a situation right now where it's how we back in the day excuse me, back in the day when Jordan was balling out, they had the Jordan rules, man. And it's they said it out loud. They say the quiet part out loud all the time because it seems like to me they're crazy. So they hit us with the R. Kelly rules, man. The R. Kelly rules for what generally happens in a situation like this. And, it's really, really crazy because as we break this shit down, man, it is simply precedence. They decided that they wanted to set a precedence. They attempted to do it with Michael Jackson. They attempted to do it with Bill Cosby. They attempted to do it successfully with R. Kelly. They had to turn the heat up, pretty much. They had to turn up the heat. They had to get the kitchen nice and hot and make it to a point where, you gaslight the American people. You gaslight the world. You get public opinion involved. You know what? Crazy thing about it is, I'm going to go ahead and go let somebody else explain this thing to you better than I can. Maybe not better. Maybe better. I don't know. We gonna talk about what he talking about when he talk about it. So let's go ahead and get that popping really, really quickly. Shout out, the We Hustle. Shout out to We Hustle. Gotta let them know, get them their shout out, give them their love out here in these streets, man. It's hard out here.
The feds are playing a dirty game, and we're all just pawns. June the 10th, 2025. R. Kelly's legal team files a bombshell 20-page motion in federal court.
We've recently received information
accusing the US government of orchestrating a plot to end his life.
To murder him.
That same day, another titan of the music industry is standing trial.
I'm showing Diddy Combs
for near identical charges. Both cases are playing out on social media, the new courtroom of public opinion, where we all consume our news and weigh in on guilt or innocence. Read the comments under any R. Kelly post, and you'll see the public's verdict was in long before the trial. It still remains. But with Diddy, it's a little bit different. Sure, there's people whose minds are already made up. Many because of the Cassie hotel footage. But here's the thing. He's not even being charged for that. If you observe closely, you'll notice the feds are using the same playbook they ran with R. Kelly. And break it down. Play 1. Shape public perception. Surviving R. Kelly aired on January the 3rd, 2019. Making a Bad Boy aired on January the 14th, 2025. Play 2. Open the civil floodgates.
The wall of silence has now been broken.
Lawsuits start pouring in. The claims go viral. Pressure builds. Lasting opinions are formed, giving the feds a preview of the game to be played. Play 3. Sync the media narrative. Every outlet pushes the same storyline. Victim testimonies dominate the headlines. People who disagree are written off as conspiracy theorists. Play 4. Build a RICO case. Frame the artist as the enterprise. Take the fame, the staff, the entourage. Call it an organization. Then comes the dramatic raids and breaking news banners. The final play is meant to be a clean victory. Another win to boost the Fed's high conviction rate. But in Diddy's case, the tide is slowly beginning to turn. Cracks are showing. There's now a loud call for evidence of the actual charges. Instead of headlines of freak-offs, Diddy's love of baby oil, and endless tales of him being a jerk. But still nothing that warrants a RICO charge. But I'll come back to Diddy. For decades, it's been public knowledge that R. Kelly had a problematic preference for younger females. In 2008, he stood trial on 14 charges, but was acquitted of every single one. However, there's one thing Kelly didn't see coming: the rise of the Me Too movement. Alongside Bill Cosby, R. Kelly was thrust into the spotlight as the face of the campaign. The documentary Surviving R. Kelly helped reignite public outrage. But the problem was, most of what it showed was old news. The same allegations, same accusers, and much of it he'd already been acquitted for.
On every charge.
If they were to bring down R. Kelly, new charges were needed, as well as new accusers to prove his behavior was ongoing.
Hey, y'all, here come the bullshit, man. You gotta make it make sense, baby. I swear to God. Let's make sure we get my mans up in here real quick. Can you hear me, Yellow Bees? You in the building? What's up?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, my man.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because the last time it was fuckery.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure we good, because last time it was fuckery,
Oh, yeah, let's get to it, man. Let's get it.
Now, this is some very profound content, my dude. If you're paying attention to what you're watching right now, it's very profound. Now, I don't know. They came out of nowhere, and I was watching this. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, so let's go.
The R&B singer attempted to clear his name by agreeing to a sit-down interview with Gayle King, of all people. This was them.
Of all people. I like the way this man's talking right now. Of all people. Yeah, okay, yeah. Why would you sit down with this ratchet? Oh,
man.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, R. Kelly, but you made an error. That was an error. I mean, that was an error on the play, foul on the play. You should have maybe went to Fox or something. Man, I don't know.
I would have preferred Dr. Phil, honestly.
Like, what the hell is wrong with you, boy?
Because I prefer Dr. Phil because he'll actually hear him out. And he did say before, you really want to interview him.
It seems like they don't want that to happen, man. It's crazy. Let's go ahead and keep going.
Followed up by two of his current girlfriends also sitting down with Gayle.
Should your parents be concerned?
No.
Now pay attention to the lady on the left, Azriel Clary. In this interview, she claimed nothing illegal ever happened between her and Kelly, and in fact said her parents had plotted to use her to extort the R&B singer.
My parents told me to lie about my age.
The feds, however, apparently had evidence to suggest otherwise. But without Azriel on their side, they had nothing. And to this lady, Tasha K.
Got my little glasses on. Hope y'all ready.
The outspoken YouTuber known for her
This cat got the info. He's on it. I like this. I really do. I really do.
Some feuds with celebrities, was about to play a critical role in the takedown of R. Kelly. On November the 7th, 2019, Tasha K released a video claiming she had sources inside the prison where R. Kelly was being held.
I got people up there in Cook County. Shout out to my Cook County. Okay, they work for me.
These same sources were feeding her copies of the singer's confidential emails, call logs, and visitor records. She then shared this information with the family of Azriel Clary. Now, whatever was contained in those documents was enough to make Azriel completely snap. She took aim at everyone involved, including the girl who once sat beside her in the Girl King interview. And most importantly, she also took aim at R. Kelly himself. Azriel moved back in with her parents and ultimately helped carry out what she once claimed was their plan all along. She flipped.
If they ever have to blackmail him, what they're trying to do now, they can use it against him, which is exactly what they're doing.
The feds now had exactly what they needed, a new accuser with fresh allegations. Once again, waiting.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what they needed. A new accuser with fresh allegations, because, surviving R. Kelly was old news. It was a rehash of everything that was talked about in the past to create public outrage.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was.
Hey, you know what? Since this not guilty verdict of the sex trafficking, this is an open door for R. Kelly now.
And I see him running through that open door.
Mm-hmm. Because they really want this man gone so bad. I'm sorry. Y'all gotta pay the consequences for the shit y'all did to this man.
Man, for real. Because, I'm loving this breakdown. Shout out once again, man, to, what's their name? This is, We Hustle. We Hustle, man. Go over there and handle business with them, man. For real. Subscribe.
In the wings was Gayle King.
Come on in, Azriel.
Azriel sat down with her and this time gave a completely different account.
I was lost.
No longer defending R. Kelly, she instead accused him of various illegal activities that aligned perfectly with the Fed's case.
What were you not honest
On
about?
the 29th of June 2022,
Everything.
R. Kelly was convicted on all counts and sentenced to 30 years.
Not just everything about R. Kelly, everything in your life, lady. You're a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Just like your pappy, just like your greasy mammy. Liar. Just like Cassie claimed to be victim, straight up willing participant. That is why he only got charged for taking you somewhere to sort yourself out. You needed some bread, I guess. I don't know. He wasn't going to give you none. I don't know what the hell had happened with that, but damn. Good Lord.
Yeah, they took R. Kelly's money.
Yep. Yeah, they did. They really did.
Scorned and became the government's main star witness.
Not long after his conviction, R. Kelly and his legal team went public with accusations that the feds had orchestrated a dirty play, one that showed clear signs of a conspiracy. Now, what's funny is, in this day and time, just hearing the word conspiracy often makes people roll their eyes, ready to dismiss anyone questioning the official story as crazy or paranoid. But in R. Kelly's case, it was different. He had proof. He was determined to show that the feds leaked his private prison correspondence to Tasha K.
Really?
If proven, this would be textbook witness tampering and conspiracy.
You know, I got people up there in Cook County. Shout out to my Cook County. Anyway, okay.
November 13th, 2023, R. Kelly filed a lawsuit against the federal government, the correctional officers involved, and Tasha K. Ironically, around the same time, Cassie was filing a civil case against Diddy, setting off a chain of events the feds quickly seized upon. Kelly's legal filing, however, was gaining momentum when a court-authorized search uncovered evidence showing that a female correctional officer, identified in the documents as BOP Officer A, had accessed Kelly's restricted files 153 times over 6 months. She then emailed them to herself before passing them on to Tasha K. Here's the shady part. Despite all this evidence, no disciplinary action was taken against the officer. She remained fully protected by the feds, and to this day, her identity remains sealed. However, Kelly's lawsuit did manage to force the federal government to release 13,000 pages of documents, revealing just how far the tentacles of the alleged conspiracy stretched. But then things took an even stranger turn. Just days after these documents were to be handed over, two inmates, Mikhail Glenn Stein and David Keith Harris, were allegedly approached by prison officials with an offer. Take out R. Kelly and walk free. What seemed like an offer that was too good to be true was mistakenly made to the wrong man by the feds. You see, Mikhail Stein isn't an average inmate. Look,
you notice that most of this story is about R. Kelly. And we'll get into that a little bit more. It's a comparison between the two, but it's mostly about R. Kelly. If you peep game, I'm
Yeah.
feeling it. I'm feeling it.
Up since 1996, he's had run-ins with the very officers now offering him a get-out-of-jail card. Over the years, Stein filed more than 30 lawsuits against those officers and the institution for various reasons, but now he was in a different place, battling a terminal illness that even freedom couldn't cure. And that's when he did something the officers never saw coming. He revealed the plot to R. Kelly. I know what you're thinking. This all sounds like some hairy-fairy conspiracy theory, but give me a minute. Just as quick as the information was revealed, all hell broke loose. Kelly's lawyers filed a 20-page motion exposing the plot. Within 24 hours of this, the Attorney General overseeing Kelly's case resigned. Then shockingly, the feds were granted authorization to seal every single one of the 20 pages R. Kelly's lawyers had.
That dude resigned because he know he foul.
Mm-hmm.
You know you foul. You got up out of there. You don't want none of this smoke that's about to come down because,
Who would do?
huh?
Who?
The Attorney General.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, I can't even think.
In New York. I forget his name. In that particular district, it's not Alvin Bragg or nobody like that.
Oh no. Well, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Flaming, cooking, hot fire, hot fire, hot fire. Swear.
Submitted. This is public information. Despite pleas to Donald Trump for immediate release on the grounds of Kelly's life being in danger, he remains in prison. Also in custody is the man who Kelly previously collaborated with musically, Sean P. Diddy Combs. As we watch weeks of testimony in Diddy's trial, it's hard to ignore the striking similarities between his and R. Kelly's. Documentaries, dramatic raids, flipped government witnesses, illegal cell searches, and racketeering charges under RICO. Yet in both cases, there is no criminal organization to be found.
Thank you.
Only one defendant, standing alone. Gone are the parties, the friends, the women. Now all that remains is family. But in R. Kelly's case, even that's disappeared. These are men who are far from angels. If all of this feels familiar to some of us in the older generation, these aren't just new tactics. They're echoes of a long history where powerful black figures were systematically targeted and dismantled under the guise of justice. What was once infiltration and bugs is now sealed indictments and viral clips. The mission remains the same. The only difference is the playbook has been updated. And still, we play along. Not because we understand the rules, but because we never realized.
I swear, shout out to We Hustle for an amazing 9 minutes and 49 seconds.
Right breakdown, man.
Amazing 9 minutes and 49 seconds. You know, if you were curious or you just wanted to know you didn't quite understand, damn good breakdown. Damn good breakdown. Because to be honest with you, RICO is some bullshit.
Yeah, it really is. Because the RICO is for mob bosses and drug organizations.
RICO is some straight up bullshit.
It's always been bullshit. That's what it's always been. Did they forgot what the meaning of RICO was supposed to be about? Because I know a boy RICO and I ain't never been in jail or any of that. So it's like I know more.
Racketeering and criminally influenced organization.
Yeah. So we got feminists now who are pissed off because they didn't get what they wanted from the Diddy trial.
Absolutely, they're pissed. I mean, I would love for them to be pissed. Thank God they pissed.
Hey.
The hell with them.
Hey,
The hell with them. Hey, Mr. Denzel, what's going on? How you feeling?
What's going on, Derek, man? What's going on, young sir? It's been happening.
Oh, what's good? What's good?
Talk to me, man. You know, it's been a lot going on. This has been an interesting beginning of July into June. middle of June. It's been crazy.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I mean, especially with all the things that we got going on with President Trump and him, doing as good as the 72-10 Bulls. People just upset about that shit.
Man, I don't.
The big bill.
You know, um, it's very interesting to me to see how this Diddy case panned out a bit. I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
because I was sure as buttermilk he was gonna get hit with racketeering. I was almost sure when they was like racketeering. I'm like, man, I know R. Kelly somewhere in a cell shaking the door. What the hell is happening here?
Man, I already knew for a fact when they were gonna come in with a verdict today, so I wasn't surprised. I knew he was gonna get a mixed verdict when I first heard it. So
I mean, the way that they kept on coming back with notes was enough for me. I was just like, oh shit.
That's why the jurors asked for the transcript from Cassie's testimony to read.
Like, did this heifer say that she was a hoe? Wait a minute. Nah, we can't charge him with that, but we can charge him with giving her a ride to go do her thing. You feel me?
That's not even a crime, though. But hey,
shit, Uber be in trouble, bro. You know how many females done took Uber to go get some? Bro, I used to Uber. What was I doing? Oh God.
Yeah, I mean,
they'll get in the car and late night drunk. Oh, it's crazy.
I mean, this Man Act needs to be abolished.
Yeah.
Because this is not a Man Act to me.
Look, listen, the way that this thing is set up, man, look. The Man Act states that it's about intent on both parties.
Right.
Both people have to know that when they get to whatever destination they get to, that there's some sexing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to me. It's like, dude, wait a minute. So why ain't fam the Punisher? What the heck? Everybody got immunity, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. And then I was watching a little bit Megyn Kelly's talking.
Megyn Kelly is pissed, but she's
calling him a pervert and all types. I mean, come on, man.
But you was on Trump's side, so I love Megyn Kelly. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's just like, dude, you was literally on Trump's side with all the stuff that was going on with him and Eugene Carroll and all that stuff. You can't see through the bullshit. Now, I'll say it
He's
like
a right wing extremist.
I will say it like this.
A feminist.
I understand, people have their biases or whatever the heck the case may be. But at the end of the day, man, it's always been something wrong in the buttermilk with this when it came to R. Kelly, when it came to Diddy, Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson,
Tupac
Gooden Jr., Tupac. You want to talk about shit, Shannon Sharp. Damn it. What's old boy Cowboys wide receiver?
Facts. That's what they need to do.
It's been.
I'm just reading what
it's purely an attack on manhood. And the thing of it is, and I say this for real. Women live in a state of zero accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of whether you a good female, a bad female, just a regular old average female, if you got good intentions, bad intentions, you live in a world of zero accountability. Reason being is because at the end of the day, the onus of everything that happens between a man and a woman is on the man. Point blank, period. I don't care if it's a domestic dispute. I don't care if it's a kid. I don't care if it's a sexual act. I don't care if it's what you want to eat for dinner. I don't care if it's the house note, the car note. the bills, taking care of the kids. The onus of every single thing is on the man.
Facts.
Yeah, but not the woman can't take no accountability.
Now,
They, oh,
now there are women that have accountability because they have to. They out here single parent, whatever, but not taking accountability of certain facts of, or just taking a deep thought or look in the mirror at why am I single?
Yeah.
and they don't think about why they single. They're like, oh, nigga, I ain't shit. And all that. Like, come on, shut up with that.
Yeah. And one wives
No,
are
it's not. Let me say, it's not
And,
that.
and, and I'm not hating on females. I love my ladies, man. You know what I'm saying? The real talk.
No, and I'm gonna say this, Derek. The funny fact when they say that, I'm like, no, we're not shit. Maybe you're the one that ain't shit.
Because look at Cassie's ass, man. Just take a look. I wonder if she got Azriel on fucking speed dial. Because you two heifers ain't shit. You willing participant ass individual want to sit up here and cry victim, and then when the man get any type of leeway, you send a letter to the court talking about what you scared of. You were not scared when you sued that man for $50 million.
Hey, exactly.
Yeah,
and like she wrote to the court. She wrote to the court
He was free when he paid your ass.
Right.
But now you want him locked up because you and your attorney, her and her attorney, decided to say, "Oh, keep him in there because he's a danger." Bitch, please.
Man, what?
Here's my
language. I just said stop, man.
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous formula that we've been living in and we've been watching. And I promise you, it's amazing to me how all of this gaslighting started and when it started.
Mm-hmm.
It started heavy right when the pandemic smacked us in our asses.
Yeah. I was
right then and right there. There's no other point of origin of when this shit would happen. What in the fuck was in these vaccines?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We need to start finding now who has been funding the Me Too movement, who has been funding Time's Up, and
we know
scamming
that it's from the left.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So it's like for me,
and also who knew about the whole pandemic?
The left, because you got Fauci.
Yeah, he knew about the whole shit. He was one who knew about the whole thing before Trump.
Yeah, because he ended up coming over, looking crazy. What the hell you over here for, bro? What's going on with you? You know what I'm saying? Why is you even trying to kick it? You know what I'm saying? What's happening here? And I'm just not. I can't succumb to the bull crap, bro. It's just like, what in the world, man? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, that it's like R. Kelly rules that's being implemented now because this was the case that went. This went.
Yeah.
When nothing else went, you got this to go.
Yeah, because they want to use R. Kelly as case law.
They put a machine.
They use him as an example, though, to make him the head.
He's the blueprint because they tried and they tried and they tried. They couldn't even hold on to Bill Cosby because of their bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
They tried, and they tried.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't even get their hands on Michael Jackson with their bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Hell no.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson, same thing.
Tried, and tried. Because
I wonder who they're going to try next.
Because in this country, regardless, and black people are right about this, but they looking at the wrong people. They looking at the wrong party. Mm-hmm. In this country, we are disenfranchised. We are, we messed up in the entire game by holding on to this Democrat bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why, look, the Democratic Party was a slave party. Those are the same. That's the same party that was raping Well, I'm sorry, our wording, my bad.
Man,
Oops.
whatever, man. It's a free
Our
contribution.
wording, I would say, black slaves, men and women.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Truth be told, the Democratic Party is just coming out of the closet. We already knew they've been gay.
Mm-hmm. And they for the illegals. They're like, we this, we that. What about us? But you know what? If you
All
care,
I want to say
care
is that they don't really care about us.
if they don't care about us, go to the other countries and see how you get treated.
You
And see,
know, I sit here and I look at this. You know what I'm saying? I look at the R. Kelly rules. They're setting up R. Kelly rules for these entertainers. You bet not like somebody that you met on tour. You bet not say, "Hey, I'm who I am, and I got a mansion, and I got this, and I got that going on for myself.
yeah.
Why don't I fly you out?" Well, what's gonna happen? Whatever happens, happens. She know in her heart that she finna give up that coochie.
Mm-hmm. The cootie cat.
In her heart, she knows she's gonna give up the coochie. And he know that if she give it up, he's going to take it. Tarico,
Yep.
look, I had a female come to my house one weekend ago from Omaha, Nebraska. She came in here, we kicked it, we went to go see DC Young Fly.
Mm.
And she came back to the crib or whatever and didn't pop off, and we had a good laugh. Because I told her, I'm like, you know what? Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm smart enough to know that I ain't finna sit up here and do nothing with you because I don't want to get caught up in no Rico. For real. You know what I'm saying? Because if I mess you over, you get in your feelings, then you can say, hey, he did this and he did that, and then you came from Nebraska. You crossed I don't know how many state lines to get
And,
here. Oh shit.
and the most of the time, they don't even go to the police, man.
I don't want to get no 30 years, you know what I'm saying? Because you done jumped in your feelings, you know what I'm saying? For real. We got a good laugh out of it because she know good and well how I feel about the R. Kelly thing. She's in the middle about it, which the middle is cool. You know what I'm saying? The middle is all right. I can deal with middle people. They can say, well, yeah, but this could have happened, but that could have happened. I can deal with that. I can handle that. What I can't handle is a person that can't hold two thoughts in their head and say, well, this could have happened and that could have happened. Because with dealing with R. Kelly and dealing with Diddy, you have to say, well, this could have happened and that could have happened. It's a possibility, but that's where reasonable doubt comes into play. What's most likely to happen? What's most likely is he ain't out here on the make trying to find no females, just like Diddy ain't out here on the make trying to find no chicks either.
Mm-hmm.
Or no dudes either. Whatever he's into, he ain't looking. He ain't looking to get it from nowhere. Before we go another further, Mountie, what's up, dog?
How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing?
I'm blessed and
Good.
highly
How about
favored.
you?
Hey, man, listen. I listen. I wish no ill will on nobody. No, not even Diddy. I listen.
Right.
People that's saying he need to go to prison. This that is wild because see the thing is this. People and this is the job of the media to drum up a lot of humdrum and a lot of emotion. Having naughty people that say he need and didn't even see nothing, don't have no proof of nothing.
Yep.
But
And
he needs to go to this man needs to go to get Rico and go to jail for the rest of it. Like, dude, where's the evidence?
Yeah.
they don't have it.
Like,
You want somebody to go to jail that bad because you don't like the person?
but see, the thing is though, you flip the script and had that be their son on the stand, or their father, or their uncle, or their sister, or somebody on the stand. Oh, free my child, free my child. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
1,000%.
it's the hypocrisy on another level.
Like, that's crazy. But listen, and then for him not to get any bail, like, that's crazy. That's whack.
Dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Man,
the crimes that he was convicted on, which was bullshit, the crimes that he was convicted on was not violent crimes. So why not let him go home?
Mm-hmm.
Because they pissed off because they know they lost. They pissed.
And
man,
then you
they
get
are
sassy.
hit.
Like I'm over the fact like they did to Kells. Why are they allowing these people to get on the stand and lie and lie and just outright lie under oath, and then you take their testimony for the gospel. Well, obviously the jury didn't believe you, ho, because they know you a liar.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Cassie was out there like that. I'm like, you was out there putting it on up for sale. Shit.
Yeah.
She's talking about she's scared and she's afraid for herself, but she wasn't scared when she was flying around the world and getting lavish gifts and getting money and doing all this and partying and all that kind of stuff. Right. She wasn't afraid then. She wasn't afraid then.
No, but she was. She was living that lifestyle. She wanted to be.
But now she's afraid to let him out. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
You know, Shorty tripping. She ain't. You know what I'm saying? She's scared. You done took this man's money, man. You get 30 mil, okay? You know, and you think that man, that dude just want to go home, bro. I'm telling you. You just want to go to the crib. Now, like I said, I got my preconceived notions and feelings about Diddy. I'm not going to hold you up or lie about it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I feel like, and I say it all the time, and you know, it's been in some of the things that I've done. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care who you are. I don't care how I feel about what I think you might have did to Tupac and Biggie and the lady at that club. I don't care nothing about that. What I care about is the simple fact that justice has to prevail in all cases, regardless of how you feel about somebody.
Exactly. Everybody has due process right to have a fair trial.
I mean, shit. Go ahead, man.
But see, the thing is, people have a presumption of justice being the verdict that they're looking for. That's not what justice is. Justice is the due process.
Mm-hmm.
Due process was given. He was put on trial. The jury convicted him of what they had evidence to convict him on, and the rest they acquitted him on. That's it. That justice is a process. It's not a verdict.
Yeah.
He was given his day in court.
And you have to, and as the government, you have to be well within that process. You can't deviate from the process. You have to do the process. You can't lock somebody up just so that they can be isolated, just so they can be in your silo, so that you can steal their information and give it to their girlfriend. You can't do that.
Nope.
It's called witness tampering. Point blank, period. There's no way around it. There's no way under it. You went to the witness and you got to fucking with her with information.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's called witness tampering. What's up, J Rock? I see you. You can go ahead and scroll up, grab that link, come on in, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Everybody, man, I'm gonna say this, man. R. Kelly's case is a threat to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Because it was a litmus test.
And he's a threat to the Justice Department.
It was a litmus test.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, gentlemen, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Concerning Kel's case and about this recent hospitalization that he just went through. Now, I did some research through the Bureau of Prisons, and I was trying to pull up some information about the prison where he's in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and my thing, I wanted to get at, how out of that prison, that particular prison, how many that are under a doctor's care, how many of those prisoners, those inmates have overdosed on their medication? How many of them overdosed?
The ones they was trying to kill.
Okay. And I didn't see no information about anybody that has overdosed in a controlled environment like that, where their medication closely managed.
The last thing they want you to have is more drugs.
Exactly. So, and then when the guy, he has blood clots throughout his body, on his legs and in his lung, for him to go to the hospital, which is Duke is a major hospital out there. Okay. For them to say that they need to keep him a few days to get these blood clots under control, which is a life-threatening condition, for them to pull him back out to the prisons, Kells need to sue them.
Oh yeah,
Hell yeah. It's
He
time.
needs
that was dirty right there. What they did, they
That
did
was
him
dirty
dirty.
work.
to
Because I
do.
see myself like where everything he's like so guilty. Not there's no way in hell that man should not be done wrong like that.
Like that's ridiculous.
It
Yeah,
is
and
absolutely.
this is
It's
the same,
absolute.
and this is the
Absolute fuck up.
same government that was trying to kill Trump last summer.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, last summer, almost once July 4th hit, then we got 13th. And that's the anniversary of them trying to pop my man.
Mm-hmm.
For real. And like it's a sad scene to know that that's their method. If they can't get you, and they're gonna go to the extreme and try to take you out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they did that is pretty simple because of the fact that the Diddy case was going on. Because of the simple fact that, it would have blew the case wide open, like, hey, what the hell are y'all doing?
But doesn't Kel? First of all, don't Kels have a standing? He has an active suit or standing suit against the prison right now, or something like because of those emails, correct?
Yep.
Absolutely, he does.
So that's part of the that shit is starting to kind of heat up because I think his lawyers are probably fanning the flames to that shit, and they
wouldn't
get him
you
out
be?
of here.
Wouldn't you be? Shit.
Yeah, they don't want to give that money.
man. I hope Trump do pardon him. That's what I'm looking at.
Like this is ridiculous, man.
Right. Let me introduce my boy real quick, man.
J Rock, what a
This
dude.
is that
Rock, what's going on, man?
What's up with you, buddy? What's going on, J Rock?
What's good, Derek? What's happening to everybody on the panel? How y'all doing this evening?
Oh, I'm
Good, man. How
All
about
right,
you?
nothing, man. We talking about the R. Kelly rules, man.
Got back from school.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good title, the R. Kelly rules and Diddy. And there's a couple things that came up, and there was one thing I didn't think about. Shout out to Dana for this, and he brought this up. Why was R. Kelly's jury sequestered, but Diddy's wasn't?
That's a good ass question.
Yeah.
I mean, sequestered as far as what? Because they was able to go home too. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'll say this: I wouldn't be surprised if they was to go after Vince McMahon next, which they're trying to do now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you remember when we did our Vince McMahon one, man? I got blocked for one of those, but
yeah,
that's another tripped out scene because you got another willing participant.
That's sex trafficking too. Like, come on.
And he can't help but the traffic because he traveled all over the country.
Yeah, all over the world, really.
Let's not forget.
All over the world, man. It's crazy.
Like, leave the man alone. He's like about to be 80 next month. Yeah.
However, since Vince is his homeboy, and Trump's homeboy, and his wife is the head of the Department of Education, do you really think? Do you really think that they would do that? No, there you go. They would have to wait for years to do that.
It ain't gonna work though, man. You might as well just hang it up. Yeah.
Vince's money is just like Donald Trump's money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I want to kind of go back to the point that y'all was addressing earlier when you talk about when Chaos was going through with what he was going through, especially when he had to go to Duke University Hospital and they didn't, and the doctors they wanted to keep him for at least a week. And I think it was like up to 2 weeks.
Like 14 days, basically.
Right, depending on because of the severity of the blood clots.
Yeah.
I know it was at least anywhere from a week to 2 weeks. But the wild story, when they said that the prison guards or somebody came in with AR-15s drawn, man,
get your ass up out of here! Like, man, I'd have been tripping. Like, oh shit, I ain't killed nobody. What are y'all doing? Why y'all treat me like Hannibal?
I mean, got AR-15s drawn for this dude at this point. Even if you had doubted the fact that, this story sounded a little far-fetched, once you saw the AR-15s, that should have put all that shit to rest at that point.
Man, look, they don't want kills to say shit.
Yeah. They
don't want the corruption of the Department of Justice to be revealed. But they don't even realize it's coming from angles, man.
Coming from the Diddy trials and everything.
It's coming from Trump.
Mm-hmm. and they want to take him out, and they want to take Kels out.
Yeah.
Both men who has a common enemy, Michael Avenatti.
My goodness.
Yep. And see, that's the funny thing. Everybody seems to ignore the fact that Michael Avenatti is one of the people that's in the eye of this hurricane. Because Michael Avenatti, who obviously tried to extort Nike for $20+ million and defrauded a bank in Mississippi for over $10 million.
Right.
And come on, man. Once you steal from a paraplegic, man, there's no limits to your treachery.
Yeah, you hit. You ain't shit. I swear you're not.
Yeah.
I mean, it just gets to that point where you just ain't shit. Like, we got, these people are crazy, man. And they try to justify their lunacy for whatever. And it's like, it's when it comes to Diddy, when it comes to R. Kelly, everybody had their notions, man. But look, if it can happen to them, it can easily happen to you. Yep. And even with R. Kelly being broke, he had more money than us.
Yeah.
Yep.
His definition of broke showing shit ain't ours.
Yep. And see, and Derek, I'm glad you brought up that point. Because people ask the questions constantly, talk about, well, why do they want to kill R. Kelly? Why they want to unalive R. Kelly? Why they want to do this? Why they want to do that? You said broke. At this time, he's considered broke. But what he's got on deck, ooh, that's a totally different story.
It's the music catalog. That's why.
Yep. And that's the pension right there.
And people play to that more than they play to anything else. Leverage of what your worth is, net worth, whatever. The masters are ridiculous. And at this particular point, they was talking about it was 1.5. Shit. At this point,
minimum now.
You talking about at the very
3 or 3 billion.
I'm
thinking he's a 3-time billionaire.
You know what? Here's the part about it, and I can say it's 1.5 billion at minimum now, because who was one of the people that brought this to light? The late Angie Stone. Angie Stone said on her live how she was beefing back and forth with Universal. She said herself in that live, she said, I should have been retired 20 years ago. Instead, she has still been beefing with Universal. And the crazy part is the same people Angie Stone was beefing with are the same people that had a huge hand in what happened to R. Kelly, and are also the same people that has hold, from what I found out, they are holding at least 80% of R. Kelly's publishing.
Let's just keep it all the way 100. The same people that had something to do with R. Kelly is the same people that had something to do with Diddy. Same people.
Clive Davis.
Oh yeah, he's the main one.
He's the puppet master.
It was the same people. Nothing changed. The only thing that changed was the person they went after.
Are they mad about that verdict?
Because that RICO don't go when you got some money, and you can go grab Brian Steele.
Yep.
And
he was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I wish that R. Kelly meet Brian Steele.
Yeah.
Shit.
Diddy needs to use his resources to help him.
But the trickery of the whole thing is this to me. I always thought that if the RICO collapsed, everything else collapses. Because everything that he was accused of was under the RICO.
Yeah.
So how can you hit him with trafficking or riding somebody around to go give up the goodies or whatever the hell, and you ain't got him with the racketeering. You ain't got him with the big. You giving him the sides. You ain't giving him the whole meal. Basically, I mean, how was they able to pull that off? Because I don't think that's gonna fly on appeal at all. I mean, what y'all think about that? Are y'all there?
Well, yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, what y'all think about that? I don't think it's gonna fly on appeal.
Well, one of the things I'm thinking about in regards to this whole thing is, okay, you would think I agree with you. I agree with you, Derek. Common sense would tell you that if the RICO falls apart, everything else should just fall by the wayside.
Yeah,
you think that would be the case, but as you see, the prosecution is trying to hold on to anything, any little bit of momentum they think they can hold on to, they're gonna try to hold on to, which is one of the reasons why they were so adamant to not give Diddy bail, even though Diddy's lawyers said, my client has just been acquitted of the most serious charges. Why would he be a flight risk at this point?
Seriously, why would he run now?
Yeah, it's just like, man, it's like they pissed off and like they want to keep him in there. And like, man, get over it. Y'all lost.
It's another trophy, man. Seriously.
All right. So as far as him, I mean, the concern that the court said, okay, that's what they cited, that he could be a flight risk. First of all, okay, he got when did the indictments drop? When did the indictments drop? In March of last year, April.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he? Okay, couldn't he have flown if he wanted to fly to flee? He could have done it then. He could have done it then. In fact, he turned himself in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So why would he fly? Like, why would he be a flight risk on something? Like, he done beat all the hard shit. It's just some dumb stuff now.
Yeah, it's just getting really ridiculous.
And see, the thing is, remember when they tried to spin the narrative on Diddy, when they was talking about him wanting to turn himself in, but they wanted to try to spin it in a way that they had to go get him.
Oh, of course, because they want you to take that perk walk.
Yep.
They
did not want Diddy to turn himself in.
They want the public to see you getting arrested. That's why they've never let R. Kelly actually turn himself in. When he tried to turn himself in, they hemmed him up against the wall like he was running. Like, what the hell? So we have to pay attention to that type of shit. It's theater as well.
Yeah. It's a great movie, isn't it?
It's theater as well. And like I said, if people can't see, because I know it's a lot of people that watch me, and I know it's a lot of people that feel, oh well shit, I hate Diddy, I love R. Kelly, I love Trump, I hate R. Kelly, and Diddy all right. Or Diddy sucks and R. Kelly sucks and Trump sucks. But let me tell you something. If it's not fair, it's not right. And if you feel like that, if you feel like just I don't care how they get them, just get them, then you ain't shit. You don't give a damn about America. You don't give a damn about American justice. You give a damn about your justice and your emotions and your fucking feelings, and you suck. You absolutely suck if that's how you feel. Because if it was your brother, your sister, your son, your mama, your daddy, you would be feeling a different way. And that's a fact. That's a fact. You will want every inch of fair justice and fair due process for your family member, your kids, your mama, your husband, your wife, anybody that you love. You would want that. So why wouldn't you want to see that play out for somebody else? Because you ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
But I tell you what, I do feel better that R. Kelly got Bo Brenly, and the way Bo Brenly been coming out swinging.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
More when he
I
can.
can definitely appreciate that. But you know what? But you know what I would love to have also. I would love to have Bo Brennan go ahead and continue it, and I would like Brian Steele to be a consultant for the
Oh
defense.
my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
because man, Kels needs him, man, because Diddy could help this man. Like, I mean, y'all was in music videos. You know, he was in a I Can't Sleep video and Satisfy You, which is
Yep.
a remix version of I Got Five on it. But you know,
He thinks about it.
Hey, that was that shit though, low key. But you know, Diddy ain't the best rapper to me. I don't think that. You know, I'm not. Look, I'm not a Diddy fan.
On earlier today.
I tell you this, man. I've always looked more towards R. Kelly before a Diddy album.
I'm in a situation where I'm not a Diddy fan. You know, and like I said, I'm in my feelings about a lot of shit when it comes to Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if we gonna be fair, if he get out of this shit and y'all be like, oh shit, you know, he put out a hit on Tupac and y'all throw his ass in jail for that.
Yeah, hey, that's crazy. If Pac was alive today, they'll try that on him too.
Oh man, Pac would have probably been locked up years ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about today.
He'd have been locked up in 2007.
Yep.
Shit.
You know what? I totally agree with y'all in regards to Pac. I believe they would have tried to hit Pac with some type of Me Too case if Pac was alive today. I totally agree.
They would have
because what they're gonna do, they're gonna go back to what happened in that club in about 93, 94, and then gonna try to use that as the precedence to set up Pac and have Pac locked up on some further charges.
Facts.
You better believe it.
Actually, let's go back to
and think about where Pac would have been, because truth be told, Pac was about to own the 2000s. That was about to be his shit, and everybody knew it. Jay-Z knew it. All of these fools knew it.
But he did dominate the 90s, though.
He did.
He did.
But just like Kels.
And I'll tell you what. Everybody on the panel and everybody in the chat, I don't think I'll get a disagreement when I say this. Because everybody knows that original Best of Both Worlds was supposed to be R. Kelly and Tupac.
I was about to say
that. We know it.
And you know for a fact, this is me thinking. Tell me, let me know what y'all think about this. If that project would have happened, it would have changed the course of not only hip hop, R&B, but music as a whole. If that project would have happened.
Because I'm gonna tell you like this, like the hooks that was already there, like the somebody's girl is at this party, shaking that ass to this. That I can hear Tupac all over that shit. That shit would have been crazy.
And that I Wish, it would have been Pac and Kels on that I Wish.
Crazy. Absolutely insane. And it's been a lot of it's just been so much scandal around this dude. But like I said, it's been the same amount of scandal that's been running around Diddy the whole time. You know, Diddy ain't been, you look, man, come on now. You know, if you go back, you know, you get to talk about music, you get to talk about confessions or whatever. He been a freak the whole time. Tell your friends to get with my friends and we can be friends. We can do this shit every weekend. All right? That all right with you?
Yep.
I mean, if you wanted to go, if you really just wanted to go there, he wasn't rapping. He was just talking. He didn't even know he wanted to be a rapper at that point. He wasn't rapping on nothing. He was just a dude behind Biggie cars, clothes. You feel me? Here's another one. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? For real.
But they did an album with a New Edition a while back.
Yeah. I was just about to get into that. I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, the One Love album they did.
Yes.
Yeah. With the song Hot Tonight.
Now, I'm going to say this in regards to it because Diddy did it out. And see, that was the last album that New Edition collectively did as a group. They have not done a new album collectively in 20 years. Because that album came out, I believe, in 2004, if I'm not mistaken.
And I don't think Bobby was on that one.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, Ricky said that Puffy, decided not to have him on there.
Just think what would have happened if R. Kelly got a hold of New Edition.
Man, that
I remember he was supposed to be in LSG because Johnny Gill was talking about it with Vlad with his stupid ass.
Yeah.
Vlad.
No,
you know what? It's crazy because Johnny Gill, Kills was on his album in 95. 96.
Because
Let's get the move right joint, which was actually Johnny Gill's best work.
Yeah, it had that track, "Someone to Love." I mean,
that was Johnny Gill's best work.
Man,
that was a good ass album. I was like, oh shit, you got R. Kelly, you got Zapp and Rogers, you got Stevie Wonder on this bitch. Jesus Christ. Your hit song is written by Babyface.
Johnny had a collection of talent on that album, bro.
That album. Woo.
Yeah, I like that track, "Someone to Love." Man, that Kells was so smooth with that lead in that song too.
And the way he laid the background vocals down on it was that was nice. And I can tell you, and I can tell you this much. Gerald Levert was the first one to break out that story that R. Kelly was supposed to be in the group before Gerald Levert died. He did an interview with Tavis Smiley when Tavis Smiley was still on BET. And he told Tavis Smiley that one of the first people he called was R. Kelly. And he said R. Kelly was down to do it, and he wanted to do it, but his label wouldn't let him. So
they didn't want him to get no outside money.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if your artist is about to do a project with 3 of the most prominent male R&B singers of the decade, at least the past 10 years, and you bypass that, what's the real reason that you're going to let that type of opportunity slide by?
Absolute control, and you don't want none of these artists in his ear like that.
Thank you. You just answered my question.
Because they know the game.
Yes, because see, the LSG album dropped in 97. They probably started that project around 96.
96.
Early 96, possibly. That's when they started.
Born that year too.
So
so
at that point, Johnny, Gerald, and Keith, they were all in the game for at least a decade or longer. R. Kelly was only in the game nationally for about maybe 4 years going on 5.
Keith Sweat hit like as a singer in like 97. Well, 87. Okay.
Gerald was about 86 when he stepped on.
Yeah, with Levert and all of that. Yep.
Johnny was around for a minute, for about 87.
No, he was early 80s.
Oh man, he was doing
early 80s. I'm talking about Stacey Lattimer's song. Back before Stacey.
But I'm talking about early. He had albums before he actually became that good.
Which is true.
He did it.
I knew it was around mid 80s at least.
Yeah, it was like 83 probably.
He was because Stacey Lattimer and Gil came out around the same time.
Yeah,
they were teenagers.
Because I swear,
they did an album called Perfect Combination.
Perfect Combination. I remember that.
But they had one super hit. Where do we go from here?
That's on the same album.
Mm-hmm.
Super Smash.
I got that song still to this day.
Super Smash. That was crazy.
And Johnny Gill went off.
Yeah, he went bananas. I think that was probably some of his best work with that and My.
Mm-hmm. Johnny Gill. Somebody brought up the point about Johnny Gill. Johnny Gill is maybe the only artist to go platinum as a solo artist, part of a duo, part of a trio, and a group.
Nasty. He's an icon. He's one of the GOATs.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to know the truth about it, he's one of the GOATs. When he went to New Edition, he literally changed their sound.
Yes.
And he reinvents himself.
Into something crazy because that boy was blowing. Boy, can't you stand in the rain? Get out of here. Bobby couldn't have did that shit.
Johnny
Bobby couldn't have did Can You Stand in the Rain. It would have sounded like shit.
when Johnny Gills came on board with New Edition, and they came up with Any Heartbreak, which to me is one of the
Iconic.
greatest. It's an iconic album.
And the Home Again album.
Man, I love
That. Yeah.
Yo, hit me off.
Now, the Home Again album was ridiculous.
Man, that's my favorite album. I love Hit Me Off, man.
And you know what? With the Home Again album, people never gave Gerald Levert his props as a producer because he did a couple of songs on that album.
He did How Do You Like Your Love Served?
Yes.
And Gerald, baby.
Gerald never got his credit as a producer because when he came out, he produced for Minute Large, bruh. So Alone,
Minute Large, and what's the other group?
The Rude Boys.
Rude Boys, yeah, Rude Boys.
And he also helped co-produce Games by Chucky Booker.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald Levert's pen game was, man, look.
Oh, he was nasty. He was one that like I said, one of the goats. I mean, you got to think about it. Who his daddy was?
Too, man.
Who his daddy was?
Eddie Levert.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Well, who is and for real? So
that's R&B royalty.
So at the end of the day, man, it to me, we in a situation we did that. The unconditional, we did say the Rude Boys is written all over your face.
Now I'm about to listen to Where Do We Go From Here since we talk about R&B classics.
You don't have to say a word.
Got so much.
Yeah.
Don't have to say a word. That was that shit. What are you talking about?
That song still, man. That song still.
Man, Gerald was a fool the way he came in on their asses. He was like, you don't have to say how much you care for me. Because it's written all over. He was playing. I'm like, damn, you gonna scare her? Shit.
Man,
might have tried to lock his ass up. You never know who they would have tried to get.
And see Gerald and Keith being as tight as they were, when Gerald jumped on when Silk's first album came out, Gerald and Sean Levert, they both jumped on that cut with Silk. So I think it was called "Don't Keep Me Waiting."
And him and Keith Sweat been cool.
Yes,
been cool. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like they've been cool.
But see what really didn't make any sense to me was, even if R. Kelly couldn't be on the LSG project per se, as far as in the group, why would it not make sense for him to at least produce a couple of tracks on the album? Because he already did work for Johnny Gill in '96. He did a song for Gerald Levert, Love and Consequences album, the same year the LSG album dropped, called Men Like Us.
Buddy, look. That's why I say, R. Kelly is worth about $3 billion.
Yeah.
I got a rabbit hole in regards to that whole thing about why they didn't allow him to do that project, because by them not allowing R. Kelly to do that, it really killed a lot of projects that he could have been on. One interview I remember R. Kelly said one of his favorite groups is Silk. R. Kelly loves Silk. Silk, one of his favorite groups. So if
you got to think about it. He literally changed the game, and they was right along with that shit. What a song, Lose Control. R. Kelly could have wrote that.
Me in my bedroom.
I mean, he could have wrote that. Like last night we had, and then it turned into some freaky shit. Like that song was crazy. Last night we had an argument. You told me you loved me, and then it's like next thing you know, they getting it in. Loved it. Oh wow.
Yeah, that Lose Control, man. Come on, man. That's one of Silk's best.
Man, that's some of the best in the world.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget about Meeting in My Bedroom.
Oh, hell yeah.
Looking at my rolling girl, I think it's almost time.
And they said me in the bedroom. They mean said me.
How long are they gonna you? That's that shit. What have you made?
Man, me in my bedroom. Oh man, lose
Or
control.
let's make love. Oh my God, what are you talking about? What? You know, and the thing about it is, and I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and I'm like, man, look, R&B is literally on life support, on a breathing machine, and it's beep, beep. I mean, I swear,
Mhm.
I mean, oh my God. The only thing that's kind of holding it up, Chris Brown kind of hold it up, you know, because I give him the fact that he made residuals and R. Kelly just flipped your song in jail,
Man, you
you
talk
know,
shit.
and he just flipped your shit in jail. But my thing is this I just feel like that, you know, Diddy, I feel like, honestly, justice might be kind of served on that one.
Mhm.
Yep. And I
No
think,
matter, you know, get out your feelings, justice was served.
Yeah.
And
and I
deal with
think,
Whether you don't like them or not, just it has been served.
but you know what I think about that also is I agree with you. I think that justice was served, but also they didn't like the verdict because what it's going to do now, it's going to make other people going to start spinning the block back on Kels's case now.
Right. But let's
They're
keep it
going
real.
to start acting like, wait a minute, hey,
Let's keep it real. In my estimation, as a whole person, Diddy ain't shit. As a as a whole individual, but you gotta come for somebody. I don't give a damn if he ain't shit. You
Well,
gotta come right with the ain't shit
yep.
beyond a reasonable doubt. Was he rolling with ain't shit hoes?
Mhm.
I think he was. Just like I feel like R. Kelly was. No estimation in my mind. Azriel Clary, you ain't shit. You know, damn it. Geronda Pace, you definitely ain't shit, you stalker. What's her name?
Lisa Van Allen.
Lisa Van Allen, I wouldn't even call you shit because I don't want to insult shit.
Faye Rogers.
Faith Rogers, you and your pastor daddy and the mama, y'all ain't shit. Angelo Clary and Alice, you ain't shit. Jane Doe, whatever Jane Doe, Mia, whoever the hell you ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because you sat there for years, for years, and wasn't nothing wrong with your stupid ass until the government came to you and decided and told you that you can get some fucking money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Section 8 immunity.
Then you got
Unlimited Section fucking 8.
Then you have Rashonda come back.
Listen, the same shit that Donald Trump is trying to get rid of. Fucking fraud, waste, and fucking abuse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all connected. I'm telling you, it's all connected.
Yeah, and I tell you this big beautiful bill you passed is going to really help all of us out really well, especially
Look,
me as a
they talk
as
about,
from
oh
the
my
electricity.
God, 15 million people are going to be off Medicaid. Look, get
That's
them
what
15
that's what
million,
Obama was
get
saying
them
today.
15 million migrants that came over here illegal off our shit, and
Mm-hmm.
the people who sitting up here disabled-bodied off of our shit. And I don't want to have to keep on paying for that as you try to raise my taxes and make me pay for more shit. I'm done with that.
Yeah.
We should be done with that. You talking about, look, my mama is cool. My mama work every damn day. She, you know what I'm saying, she got insurance on top of insurance.
Right.
Y'all need to quit playing with grown people. Talking about Medicaid and education and shit. Trump got a whole agenda that's gonna help all of this shit. He had 4 years to plan this shit while y'all was sitting up here trying to stick up Joe Biden's behind to do weekend at Bernie's.
Facts.
So I'm good with what I got. I'm happy with what I voted for. I know that he's been through the same shit that R.
Me
Kelly
too.
went through.
That's
I
all.
know. that he went through it, and I know that if he see it in front of his face, he's got common sense. This is the party of common sense. Way before he even said it was the party of common sense. R. Kelly said to use your common sense. You better pay attention to what's going on and understand that all this shit is connected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's going to eventually do. He's going to eventually pardon him. But we got a lot of shit going on right now.
But us as supporters, we need to keep the mail flowing. We need to flood the pardons. She need to have a stack of R. Kelly letters that's crazy. Like, oh shit. And they all saying the same shit. Look at Tasha K. We got a video. Click this link. You didn't check this shit out. Show Trump this shit. When she said, I got R. Kelly jail records. You don't know the fuck I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Let's do all of that. He visuals. He needs to see this shit. I got the people working in the county for me. Really?
Mm-hmm.
He needs to see all that shit. He needs to see it all. Every last inch of it. Diddy gonna go to the house. Trust me. He's going to the house. When that verdict hit, he's going home.
Mm-hmm.
He's going home.
Yep. Well, hey, 13,000 pages. It's over for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of documents at that point.
Nothing else they can do. These people are desperate as hell.
And they are still trying to deny R. Kelly motions, even that book really put out.
Right, because you got assholes that still in their feelings and believe whatever the hell people tell them.
That's fine.
Because they are a part of the plot too.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because you got some corrupt judges in the Supreme Court that is doing this on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
The same activist judges, the same activist ass judges that's doing motions for Trump. Oh my God, the migrants. Oh my God.
But
What
Clarence Thomas at least agrees with Trump. I wonder if Clarence Thomas took a look at this too.
You never know. You never know what people be watching on TV. You just, look, them judges don't do shit. Them Supreme Court judges just wait for some shit to come along. You know, they read it while they sipping their coffee in the morning and shit, all type of stuff, and then they make their rule. They have time to read and go over stuff like that. And I'm almost certain they haven't taken it to the Supreme Court, but you know they should. They, you know, that's another place they can go. I promise you. If Trump get that shit on his desk, Michael Avenatti name pop up in that shit, it's over.
Yep.
It's over.
Yep.
They do.
It's over. If he see that name, it's a wrap. It's wraps.
And I bet Trump be like, get him out of there now. Shit.
Yeah, and
he be pressing a lot lately too. He don't give a fuck no more, man.
Yeah, and
I mean, go ahead.
And there are certain people that are out there talking about, we're urging Trump to not pardon R. Kelly, and there's a certain
Gerald Griggs, bro.
And that was Gerald Griggs. Gerald Griggs, you ain't on good terms with Trump any damn way.
You Democrat piece of shit. He not finna listen to your left wing lunatic bow tie wearing part up the middle of your shit ass. He's not going to listen to you.
Because first of all, you're not on good terms with Trump anyway. Because all he got to do is just see the footage when you're sitting behind Fannie Willis in the damn trial, and they're trying to drop them indictments against you.
You got dirt on Gerald Griggs, and Gerald Griggs knows it too.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know how that man became a civil rights activist for the NAACP. I don't understand that.
And see, that's the funny part. If you really think about it,
how do you get that position?
You are a civil rights attorney, but you did everything you could to frame an innocent black man.
Hey,
and you sitting on the damn.
And he was talking. And then why you think Jamal Bryant? Hey, why you think Jamal Bryant is where he's at right now?
That church playing right there. Like,
oh my
man, Gerald Griggs is a crooked house nigga.
Now I heard. Now there's a little piece of information that's going around that I heard that. Remember when S. Curl Savage and Miss Two Drink Minimum went up to the Jamal Bryant church?
Oh yeah.
Was talking about telling them their story. There's some information floating around that the Savages got paid $15,000 to make an appearance at that church.
I'm sure
via through Jamal Bryant's church possible payroll. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I wouldn't. But
it was at their church though.
Yeah, but I would also not put it past the fact that some of that money may have come from Gerald Griggs and his Mute R. Kelly brand that they also put out.
Absolutely.
Because remember, they use R. Kelly's name to launch another brand against him. That's brand that's infringement.
It definitely is.
So R. Kelly Mute R. Kelly should be one of the first lawsuits he also filed against.
Right.
Ever since then, you ain't hear not one bit from the Mute R. Kelly group.
Nope.
We did not see a Mute Diddy movement.
Yep, that's
I don't want
biasness, man.
We didn't even see it.
Yeah, and you don't even see the media go hard on him as much like they did with R. Kelly and Bill Cosby.
No,
that's the difference.
And here's the funny part:
they smell the BS too.
And even some of the selective people who came at R. Kelly, they didn't have the same venom for Diddy. One of whom is a guy we all know, and I guess most of us can't stand his punk ass, by name of John Legend.
Oh yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. Because you know, John Legend came out. Kanye brought him out,
and Kanye his ass too, though.
And then he had that nerve through Michael Jackson on the bus.
Man,
yep. John Legend, man, he a liberal. He a liberal. What you expect? He capped for the Democrat Party.
John Legend goes straight to hell.
To hell.
John damn Legend
and his pedophile wife too. Talk about
please believe it, man.
Man, come on, man. Well, you need to talk about your wife, nigga, and she get off of R. Kelly's tail and Donald Trump's tail too.
Yeah. On that Epstein list that y'all on.
I bet you.
Why won't you talk about that?
Right. You got a feeling tonight gonna be a good night, huh, brother? You really do, huh? You feel like
because I promise you
with your squeaky eyes and shit.
And I can promise you this: if R. Kelly's name was really on that Epstein list, they would have spared no expense to make sure that information would have got out to the masses.
Just like old Trump, man. Just like Trump, if his name was on that list, they would have been brought it out. As much as they hated that dude, it wouldn't have been no problem. No problemo. We gonna go ahead and get this out here. Yes, we are. But check it out, y'all. It's my time. I gotta get up out of here.
All right.
I appreciate y'all, man, for coming on here and being so profound with y'all conversation tonight. I appreciate everybody being in the chat for being so active and being so lit this evening. Like I said before, I know there's a lot of people in here that haven't been in here before. If it is your first time, your second time, your third time, and you ain't hit that like button, man, come on, please smash that like button for me. Smash, smash, smash. I promise you, you won't regret it. The content is good, man. You know, and I've upgraded. I got R. Kelly sitting up here in the cut. I got Diddy over in the cut. I got all my little stuff together, man. I did this for y'all. So make sure that you get down with Provoked Thoughts, man. Get down with my man J-Rock. Get down with boy Denzel. Get down with Yellow Beezy. You know, get down with all of the people that we have on our panel. Shout out to all of my mods. Well, my one mod that came in, Miss Love Unconditional. I appreciate you for everything that you do. Shout out to everybody in that panel. My man Cornell. You know what I'm saying? Let's see who else we got. Diane, Justin, of course, D Maps up in there kicking it. D White, you know, shout out to all of y'all, man. Y'all are awesome. Jericho Jackson, all of y'all that stayed active in the chat. My man Mounty, he came in here and hollered at us. I appreciate y'all. Lexington, Lex, man, that's my guy. Need him in panels sometimes, but he be listening. He let us know he be at the gig. He be listening. So I appreciate y'all, man. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it coming. We're going to keep it hot. We're going to keep it as the news you can use with common sense commentary behind it. You know, we ain't going to cut no corners, straight lace, no chasing, provoke thoughts live. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. Fellas, we are up out of here.